It's literally ticked over to 20 to 8 on your Wednesday, and as much as I love gadgets myself, the guy who goes and finds all the little things in the nooks and crannies is Matt Dickerson. How you doing this morning, Matt?
Yeah, great actually, Dan. Love to talk about technology. Love to talk about technology with someone like you that actually likes it, interested in it, and
Not scared by it.
not scared by it. That's right.
Well, like for example, I've been saying this morning that you found the potential of flying on a plane with no pilots.
Yeah, we kind of have become accustomed. Back in the old days when we used to be able to fly and fly overseas, we're all pretty comfortable, I think, with getting on a plane and a pilot would take off, and then they'd sit back with a cup of tea, put their feet up in the stirrups in the cockpit, and take it easy. And we were all okay with the plane flying it. And then, coming to land, I better take control again, and they land. But are we going to be comfortable when there's no one up the front? Now, in the Flying High movie, the autopilot was a blow-up doll. I'm not sure if we'd be comfortable with that. But I think the idea that there's just no one there is a bit scary. But there's a company at the moment in America that's converting a whole bunch of King airplanes, so not big 747s, but some King airplanes, to have no pilot on board. And it's pretty scary if you walked onto that plane and got on there and looked around and there's a hostess coming along offering you some food, but there's no one up the front of the plane. But that's where they're headed with it.
Well, you know what? This is the way I look at it, right? So your pilot is essentially taking this information from sensors and gadgets on the plane anyway to put it where it needs to be. Even the angle that it comes down to land is done by a bunch of sensors. And, you know, if the compass is off, then the pilot's still not flying in the right direction.
No, you're
so
right.
The only difference is there's that human element. So I'd jump in a plane. What would you do? Would you jump in the plane?
You know, I'm a big fan of trusting technology, and I assume they've tested it and made sure it's right before they get there. And in this particular case, they will be doing that. They won't be actually taking any passengers on these planes. The first use they'll have for planes are things like fire surveillance. So when they have planes up high above a bushfire to see where the fire's going, that sort of plane, it doesn't need to have someone sitting there monitoring it, because it goes up, flies a set route, comes back down. Cargo will be the next thing. So transport, a lot of transport around the world with e-commerce going so well these days. So it's a fair way off before we'll be walking onto a plane and seeing a blow-up dummy up the front. but we're getting there slowly. So I'd be comfortable with it, but I hope they've done some testing before they get to that point.
Well, there's less planes in the air than there are cars on the road. I'll just say that.
Well, that's exactly right.
Now, this is technology that is less intrusive, you know what I mean, about connecting people. I remember there was a door. I can't remember where it was in between, but can you remember there was a door? You could open it up and you could see like halfway across the world through cameras and television screens.
I don't remember that one, no.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that right, but something that's definitely caused a headline now is this sort of, portal, I guess you would call it, between Lithuania and Poland.
Yeah, and it's something that I don't know whether the government officials over there in Lithuania have watched too much Stargate or whether they're wormhole fans, but that's what they've tried to create. They've got this circular window to another country about 600 kilometres away. So you walk up to that and you talk, and there's people at the other end. Obviously, it's just done with a bunch of cameras and monitors, so you can see at this other end there. I'm convinced at maybe midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, there'd be people who are convinced that they can jump through the portal, and I'm sure what they've got up in front of it, because you can just imagine a few people have a few drinks. Oh, look, there's Jimmy over in Poland. I'll go and say, oh, damn, it's a hard wall. But the idea here is just really showing off what you can do with the technology. And I think, it sounds very gimmicky, but I think from a tourism perspective, they would have people go and visit these two particular cities in Poland and in Lithuania to actually look at the Stargate portal, or to look at this portal into another world.
Well, we've got a sister city in, I think it's Japan, yeah?
Yeah, we've got Minakamo in Japan.
There you go.
And Wuzhou in China.
Yeah, so if we had, let's say you went down to the Rotunda and you've got a portal in there, just seeing what's going on over there, that'd be intriguing.
It would be, and it's not, I know we say, it's silly, it's not really like the real Stargate, but I actually think there is some value in it, and it's not that difficult to set up these days, because we've all done video conferencing, we've all had to sit there and go through some meetings with people at the other end with video calls. So having a portal there, and it's just a video call that's permanently on. So you just walk up to it anytime, say good day, and there's someone at the other end. So with our sister cities, maybe that's not such a bad idea.
I would. You'd catch me sitting there like 10 minutes just going, hey, how you going? Hey. Let's talk about Fitbit, because for example, I got this watch from you guys actually at Axis, and I went for a walk the other day, and it connects to my phone, and it was telling me how far I'd walked and my heart rate and all that sort of stuff. So Fitbit wants to take this a little bit further. So when you're sleeping, to detect snoring.
And some people would say to me, well, I probably know that I snore. If I'm laying in the middle of the night and my partner jabs me in the ribs and says, stop snoring, well, you probably get a pretty good indication.
Dude, I've woken myself up snoring.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I know. So how's this going to work for Fitbit?
Well, it's really one of those things that the wearable market is really trying to work out ways that they can tell us how unfit we are or how unhealthy we are or things that we should be doing better. And snoring or sleep activation and making sure that we've actually got a range of things, monitoring our sleep, making sure we're getting enough sleep. There's all those sort of things on our wearables now. This is the first one that's come out with snoring detection. And again, you wake up in the morning, you can look at your watch and you can say you had 8 hours of quality sleep or you snored at this volume, and it's really just to give you some indication of how you are health-wise, if you like. And that snoring detection, again, I don't know why we need snoring detection because we probably know about that, but it's one of those things I think that maybe you can say to your partner, well, it was only 72 decibels, what are you complaining about?
I think it comes down to your quality of your sleep because, for example, I don't snore if I sleep on my front.
Yeah.
But I do if I've sleeping on my back, or let's say I've gone out with a few bevs, with the friends. So those you can sort of track your quality of sleep, and then make sure you're getting good habits, I guess, on a school night.
And that's the thing. I think you look at that just to get an idea of how much sleep you've had, the quality of your sleep, your breathing. There's different ways that you've got sensors you can put in your room now that will monitor your chest rise and fall to see how the sleep is. And one of the things I think that's important from this is that we all go to Dr. Google from time to time and go, I wonder what that little ache in my leg is. But the thing here is if we take that information and take it to real professionals, people that have maybe studied for years and actually know about this sort of stuff, that's where I think the information is invaluable. You take along this information and say, hey, I did an ECG on my watch and it showed an irregularity. Can I get it tested properly rather than just take that bit of information and then run with it? I think that's the really important thing here.
It's almost like a light triage.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for your time this morning. Look, we could talk forever. For example, I know there's a thing you can get shocked or buzzed on your forehead if you start snoring, so it helps your partner not kick you out. Yeah, there's those texts as well.
I've got one of those. That's called my partner.
Good on you, man. All right, we'll have a chat in another couple of weeks, and keep across it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.